Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have Brittany in the house. I'm so excited to be doing her nails. I feel like every time, it just feels like such a very long time before I get to see her again. And it is always, always, always a pleasure to do her nails. And I know y'all appreciate her on my channel as well. So we're gonna be doing a full set on her nails today. She did go ahead and remove her old set so we can start nice and clean. Here, what I'm doing is just buffing that shine off of her natural nail. I am using a mandrel bit and sanding band, both from Profiles Backstage. I'm going to be using medium grit for all of this process, and my e-file is at a speed of 4,000 RPMs. I'm gonna go ahead and just buff that shine off very carefully. Do notice how I am going in one direction. I try to stay going from my right to my left because I am right-handed. It just makes it a lot easier. And then I'm going to be taking this diamond bit also from Profiles Backstage, and I'm going to go in and try to clean off as much dead skin from that cuticle area as possible. She does always want me to skip the cuticle work part, so I do just that. We're just going to be trying to prep her nail as best as possible without doing any extensive cuticle work. Now I'm taking my brush on glue and applying these universal tips from Not Polish. I did go ahead and just kind of size them to her nails, and I'm just quickly placing them with that glue. They are the best stiletto tips. I do think that they're a little bit on the thinner side for whatever reason. I never noticed this until I am cutting them shorter and reshaping. They are very thin, so do be careful and do note that. I'm going to be trimming them slightly with my nail tip cutters, and then I'm taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file and filing it until it's nice and pointy. Because they're a little flimsy, I did decide to just go ahead and leave it like that, and then we'll finish filing it once the acrylic is on there and they're a lot thicker, because I just felt like her nail was wiggling too much back and forth and I didn't want to cause any type of discomfort. Once I'm done filing those sides, we're gonna go in with the mandrel bit very, very quickly and just buff that tip into the natural nail. This is definitely optional, but when I'm doing a full set, I don't know, sometimes depending on what color I am using, I will go ahead and blend it in. If I'm using a dark color and I'm not too concerned, then I just go ahead and go in with my acrylic application, but it's all preference. I'm going in and removing the excess dust and dehydrating the nail with the lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. And then next I'm going in with the acrylic primer from Kiara Sky. This is gel-like. It does not need to be cured, so do note that. It's just a thicker consistency, and honestly, it has helped a lot with Brittany's nails. If you didn't know and if you missed all that information, I did mention how I think she was getting an allergic reaction. And so we switched over all of the products that I was using on her to HEMA-free products. And y'all, don't call me a doctor or anything, but it definitely worked. So she hasn't had a reaction since. Knock on wood, because I do not want to have to deal with switching her products around again. But we're gonna go right into our acrylic application, and we are going to be using the acrylic monomer from Kiara Sky, and then we're using this brush from Not Polish, which is in a size 12 for this beautiful color. This is called Nude Me from Not Polish, and it is such a perfect match for her skin tone. I was definitely excited that I did such a good job. She asked for a nude color, so this was the color of choice, and I think it looks so good with the finished and final result of her nail art. So I'm gonna go in with my basic acrylic application. She does ask for her nails to be nice and thick, and because they are stiletto and long, we have to make them nice and thick regardless. So I'm starting off with a large bead of acrylic right in the middle section, pretty much where that tip meets her natural nail. And as you can see, I'm not moving it around. From my experience and teaching y'all in person, I have noticed that a lot of the time You guys may overthink the acrylic application, and when you're using good products and you have your liquid to powder ratio down, it should not be a struggle. You can tell how I'm pretty much just placing it on there, letting it do its thing, and I tap it into place very, very lightly. And it's just such an easy process when you have the right tools, and again, you have your liquid to powder ratio down. So next I'm taking a medium bead and applying that right in that section. And again, all I'm doing is let it do its thing. I'm tapping it into place, and then I simply just very, very lightly blend those two beads together. And you can tell again how seamlessly they are blending. The product is working to my advantage and not against me. Always, always, always hold the finger downwards so that the product flows down. Gravity will do its thing and pull the product downwards and away from that cuticle area. I'm just going in and making sure that I have those edges nice and tight. Again, all I'm doing is tapping very, very lightly, blending very lightly, and the product is just helping in my favor. So we're gonna go in with that same process on the rest of the nails. Make sure you guys ask any questions in the comment section. I try to be really active with responding to your guys' concerns, comments, and questions. So always, always, always feel free to do so. I try to help as much as possible. Now, once everything is nice and dry, you should be able to tap the nail and it make a clicking noise for reference. That is a really good indicator that everything is fully dry and you're ready to file. I'm taking my e-file at a speed of about 11,000 RPMs. I'm using a medium grit 5-in-1 bit from Kiara Sky, and I'm just gonna be sealing those cuticle areas, making sure that it is nice and flush to her natural nail. And then I'm gonna be taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file once again, and we're gonna be filing those sides and making sure everything is nice and crisp. Again, at this point, I'm gonna make sure that that point is super pointy. And then I'm gonna go directly in afterwards and file the entire surface of her nail. I just feel a lot more comfortable using my hand file, especially with longer nails. It just blends everything a lot easier in one motion. I don't have to be too concerned about my hand pressure. With an e-file, sometimes it can be a little bit scary. So if you are uncomfortable using an e-file, you feel like it's just too lumpy afterwards, definitely switch over to a hand file. You can do this very, very quick and you won't need to be concerned of it taking too long. Again, you're covering more surface in a quicker amount of time. Next, we're gonna be buffing those nails, prepping for our nail art. I'm taking this sponge buffer from Profiles Backstage and I'm just going in on the nail surface. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that on the rest of the nails. Then we're gonna be cleansing very, very well. You can always ask your client to go wash their hands. I would only do with water, kind of give it a good rinse and use those little nail brushes. Or like I do, I try to keep them in my chair as best as possible so that we can speed up the process. And I will just simply get a lint-free wipe, a little bit of young nail swipe, and cleanse that thoroughly. Now for her nail art, if you follow me on my other social media platforms, you will know that I already showed this design in short form, but I figured I would go ahead and share it with you guys and show you the end result with both of her hands. So we're gonna be doing kind of like a swirly type of snakeskin design. I am taking a neon pink color from Profiles Backstage. I did kind of dilute it a little bit and make it a little bit brighter than its original color using some white gel polish. I mixed that on my Artista palette from Veeda Bella, and then I'm using the long liner from Veeda Bella as well to just easily create the nail art. So I'm doing the outline first, and then we're gonna be doing all the infilling portions. I do like to work with one color. As you can see, I'm doing all the pink, and then I'm gonna cure that in the light, and then I work on the opposite hand while this hand is curing. I always try to use my time efficiently. Once all the pink is cured, we're going directly in with our green. Same process, I used a lime green color, mixed it with a little bit of white to brighten it up a little bit there on my Artista palette, and I pretty much just did that to dilute the gel paint slightly and brighten up that color because it is a lot of a thicker consistency for drawing, so I just simply used that to dilute it. We're gonna go in and cure for 60 seconds, and then I'm going in with top coat. This is a stain resistant top coat from Young Nails. The reason why I chose this is because she is a smoker and I keep forgetting to use stain resistant top coat on her. So her nails came back pretty bad the last time she was in. So I figured I would go ahead and use this top coat to see if that helps specifically for smoking. So I will keep you guys updated on the next video whenever she comes in. So stain resistant top coat from Young Nails, we're gonna be placing that on the entire nail, and then we're gonna be popping that in the light for a full 60 seconds. Do note that this top coat has a tacky layer, so I am simply gonna take a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail swipe to remove that inhibition layer. Now we're gonna be doing our design layering on that same color, so pink on pink and green on green. I'm taking that gel and we're gonna be doing the snakeskin type of design. So that consists of longer strokes horizontally, and then in between those horizontal lines, you're gonna do tiny little dots. It depends on how big the nail art portion is, but because these are super small areas that I have to do this print on, I'm pretty much just dabbing the smallest amount of gel paint in between those horizontal lines. Honestly, it was really, really hard to do, and I was hoping that it came out the way that we wanted it to, specifically again because I had such a small amount of surface. Now for this design, to texturize it and mattify the design, I am taking clear acrylic from Not Polish and we're layering it onto that wet gel paint. Do note that I go ahead and draw the design, and then instantly after it's drawn, I am layering a bunch of clear acrylic until it seeps all the way in. If you have done this type of design and really don't like the finished look of it kind of being shiny, it just means that you need to add a little bit more acrylic. So I go in with one layer of clear acrylic, let that kind of seep into that gel paint, and then as the shininess of that gel comes back through, I pour more on, and I continue to do that over and over again until it is fully matte. At that point, once that gel paint is fully matte, that is a good indicator that I don't need to add more clear acrylic, and I could go ahead and cure it in the light. Now for these type of designs, also make sure you are curing for a full 60 seconds. Sometimes you could even do 2 rounds, but I'm using the Not Polished LED light and that sucker is strong, so I just have to do 1 round of 60 seconds. So again, repeating that design on all of the pink portions, and then we're gonna do the same thing with green, layering on that clear acrylic until it is fully matte, curing in the light for 60 seconds. So here I'm just showing you guys kind of a sped up version and layering on that acrylic onto the green. Now, fun fact, if you guys could see the colors in the background, we did red and black for her other hand. That is what she wanted, and I absolutely love it. Let me know what you guys think down below. That pretty much concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton.